Hello everybody, I have been joined in the studio by Sam, and on the big screen you can see Andrew from Fourth Quarter Miniatures. Andrew, welcome to the show, buddy. It is a pleasure to have you.
Hello, a pleasure to be on it. I've watched it so many times, so.
Oh, that's
excellent.
Always gratifying to hear. So, Andrew, you are coming out with a tabletop American football game, yeah?
Yes, fourth quarter football, gridiron in miniature.
Okay, now I'm going to get this out of the way right at the start. I have seen football played in America, so
Yeah.
I do have high expectations. The last time I was over, I had the good fortune to watch the Chicago Bears play the Minnesota Vikings. Also, I'm a Bears fan. Okay, I'm
Hey!
putting that out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm a 49ers fan. We were like Liverpool. We wear red and we were good in the 80s.
Meanwhile, at the other end of the spectrum, I watched a rugby game once. So
Okay, Sam, I'm going to give you a crash course in football.
do it. Go.
Yes.
Chip in when he gets it wrong, Andrew.
No, I'm going to
Yep.
get this perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so to play football, you throw the ball, you catch the ball, you run the ball,
Yeah,
you score with the ball.
yeah.
You now know how to play football.
Okay, I think I got it. But one more time, I wasn't listening.
Okay, so Andrew, we have a few questions that we're actually wanting to go through with you here to actually introduce the world of the tabletop gaming world to yourself and your company and your game. So,
Sure.
Sam, do you want to maybe grab the first one there for us?
Well, first of all, would you like to introduce yourself to us? Why did
yeah.
you decide to make this game?
Well, firstly, I'm a gamer. I've been playing lots of sports miniature games, which are my favourite kind of game, since I was going to Games Day in the 80s, and I've collected them. But what always bothered me was that I'm also a keen American footballer. I watched it when I was a kid, I played it when I was in my 20s, and then I coached it as well for 10 years. And what bothered me was there wasn't a sports game that really actually played like American football. There are ones that have the illusion of American football, the shoulder pads and the tackling, but not the tactical side of it. Because when you're coaching it, you're having to make some really technical decisions, calling plays all the way through the game. And we wanted to recreate that feel of it, the tactical side of the game.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That, and there's always one thing I've seen whenever I watch American football, I always get pissed off at the referee.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no! There are times whenever it feels like they want to play too. You know, so basically, after you run a play, if a ref throws a flag down,
I've got to be careful here because
oh, go ahead.
I've got to be careful here because one of our other designers, Dr. K, was actually a qualified referee for a number
Oh,
of
wow.
years.
Oh, okay. Should I expletive delete my last?
No, not at all. We had some. She only refereed one of my games a couple of times, and we had such blazing rows over it that we agreed not to be ever on the same pitch when we were doing those jobs.
So, yeah, you coached American football. They were a ref. You've got some very knowledgeable people on board here.
Yes, yeah, we've got all the people we have. We try and have experience of American football because we're trying to recreate that. The play testers are people who have played and coached it because we want to get that feel all the time. We want it to play like a game. We want it to play fun in an hour and a half, but we want you to feel like you're playing American football.
I like the idea that this is going to be a nice, quick game to play. Hour and a half sounds like just something you could get a couple of games in on, say, your Sunday gaming day.
Yeah.
So that sounds very, very good to me. So that's point up there, mate. Right, next question I have here is, what is it that really, really makes this game different? What is that core kernel of the fun of the game?
Okay, well, the first one is that, well, you're playing American football, so you can imagine your American football team playing. But most sports miniature games, you set up your teams, but then it becomes a kind of improvisational game. You do something, your opponent does something, you're playing through. And once you've set up, generally the game then plays almost entirely on the pitch. But in fourth quarter football, we have decks of cards, play decks, and those contain plays that you're going to call. And you're drawing a hand of those each turn, so you don't know exactly what you can call. That's the gaming element. But you are choosing plays and then trying to make them work on the pitch.
So, would it be right in saying there's a deck building element to it?
There is, yeah. There's two sides to the deck building. One is deck creation. So the game comes with 40 play cards, and you're trying to make a deck of 15 from those. So you can do that different ways. You can either use the ones we've suggested or do it as a draft system. But there's also ways to play it. We have rules inside the game. So there's actually a deck building element where you actually start with 3 base plays and you're trying to earn other plays as you go along the game.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds fun. It's got a little bit of a legacy feel to it, which I really really like the feel of.
Adds good room for expansion as well.
True.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the teams that come in the game are the modern passing teams. They're the sort of teams you would watch on the television every day. But that's not the sorts of teams I always played in.
Oh.
So what we want in the future is we're planning to have like a team of the 80s who do all the short passing West Coast kind of playing, and a team of 70s players who are all broken-nosed hard men who can run the ball better.
I'm thinking this may be my team. I'm thinking this may be
That's the one for you, is it?
Well, you see me. I have a face for radio. Okay,
Fair
now
enough.
there is one thing I do wonder about the mechanics of the game. Now, having watched American football, one of the key components of the game is the downs. So for you, Sam, that doesn't know how it works, the downs are basically whenever you're on offense, you have essentially 4 plays to try and get the ball further up the field to reset yourself to a first down.
Okay.
Does this game model that mechanic from the actual game of football?
Yeah, absolutely. If I can switch over to the pitch,
Go ahead.
I can actually show you that we have just here the down markers. So you can see over here on the left-hand side,
Ah, yes.
that's flags to show where your first down started and the yardage you're trying to get to. And over on the other side is our clock that's running down. But the little counter that comes with it, comes with it, actually shows you the downs as they're playing out.
Nice.
So you've got first
Excellent.
down, second down, fourth down, all spinning round as you go. So it plays exactly like a game of American football like that. You're trying to get your 10 yards. You're trying to manage the clock as you're going.
I just remembering from what I've seen on your Kickstarter, it says that the fourth quarter is when things really kick in for the game.
Oh, yeah. If you watch there was a playoff game at the weekend that was like that. New England came back. Boo, New England. But they came back from being 10 points down against the Jags, and the fourth quarter was where it really happened. They were fighting it in. And I go back to the fact we wanted a game that would last for an hour and a half. I've seen an American football game from the 80s that people tried to do, and the game takes 4 hours and was a book full of charts. So what we want to focus on is that tail end of the game. You've got the last 15 minutes, and as the fourth quarter starts, the two teams are neck and neck.
Nice. Also, that's giving you that pressure cooker feel, where you might feel that desperation at the end of the game to go for that one Hail Mary play that you've got in your hand.
Yeah, you really have
actually
to
try
take
and
the
win it.
risk. Yeah.
Yeah, and the person who starts on offense, they start 1 point behind, because what they're trying to do is score, but eat up the clock as they're doing it. So their opponent put their opponent under that pressure. So, which I certainly felt last night. I got duffed by one of my playtesters. I was throwing the long bomb at the end, which I hate doing. So.
You took the risk.
But when you land it, you have to feel so good of going, yes, he could go all that way!
Yeah. So, no, it's fantastic. You are throwing those plays, and it comes down to dice roll of a catch. We don't have a pass roll and a catch roll and then a coverage roll. All the coverage, the passing, and everything is pushed together to actually come down to one dice roll. So you get that excitement when you throw it. All the modifiers come to that one roll for whether it's actually going to be a completion.
All right, now, I do have an important question. Now, I know this game comes with some beautiful resin figures. Are they designed with modern football gear in mind, or are you actually going to go through the different iterations depending on which teams you're bringing out? So will you have like a 70s team, an 80s team, a 90s team, a 2000s team?
The equipment they've got on now is almost what we think they'll be wearing in 2 years' time equipment. So it's as modern as we can make it look. And we've already done sketches though for the other teams, and then no, it's absolutely the opposite with the 70s team. They're all looking rough and dirty and slightly more torn, the clothing, and they've got the longer jerseys and the old-fashioned face gauges.
Nice.
We think that will make it a lot easier for people to recognise them on the pitch when they do come out.
Nice. This is also a great painting opportunity for people, because depending on which of the era of team you're doing, you can actually go away and actually start researching your favourite football teams.
True enough.
And painting up the schemes and the jerseys and the helmet designs from the era, which I think is going to look absolutely great on the tabletop.
Exactly. And speaking of the football jerseys, I see you're wearing one there as well. What one's that you've got on?
Oh, this is one of my jerseys. I actually played in this. ARU Phantoms. I played in the British College League for 10 seasons. This one fits because it's the last one I wore. I don't think.
Now, has it been washed? Because I know some of you sports guys are very, very superstitious about washing jerseys.
Oh, actually, no, this one has been washed, but I did have one. We got to the College Bowl final in my first season, and there was a blood mark on that. And I must admit, you wouldn't get away with this now, but I never washed it after that.
See, I love stories like that from these games because there's always so much going on behind the scenes as well. Whenever a team's running through a season, very cool.
You get all the drama for that.
Not so much drama, so much as that good-natured camaraderie between the team, that build-up of team spirit, and then just going out onto the pitch, knowing that everybody's going to do their part, try their best, and even if you're having a rough game, you know that at the end of the day you're going to head out with your mates, have a few brews, and have a few laughs.
That's true enough.
Right. Do we have any more questions here, Sam?
One last one.
Yes.
Yeah. What plans do you have to take this beyond Kickstarter?
Okay. Right, well, we've had a successful Kickstarter, so we're really happy about that. This was a game that I wanted to make. I wanted to make for me, but I've got enough backers and funders now, so we're going to be in production. We're going to retail by the end of the year. But we'll also be going to, we will be at UK Games Expo and Salute this year. And hopefully, if we've got the Kickstarter out by then, we'll be selling to retail straight from there.
Very cool. Well, I can give you a bit of a heads up. The Beast of 14 will be at both of those events, and I will be keeping my eyes peeled for you because I am very curious about this game. Yeah, I know that Don and Gianna are also going to be very curious about this game. They're our American correspondents.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
I think you should definitely challenge Justin to a game if you see him. Not of fourth quarter football. I mean actual football. Just tackle him in the hall.
I'm tiny.
I know. That's why.
So am I. No, I am tiny. This is a bit of a joke. I've got a camera set up to look up at me. It's nearly on the floor. I was one of the shortest players ever to play in my league. I'm 5'3", but I'm
5'4". Someone's shorter than me.
See, hang on. This is the thing. Whenever you're going into the scrum, low center of gravity.
Yeah, good point. Take the legs out.
I'm built like a little bowling ball. So come on first down. I was a tight end, but I was a blocking tight end. I'd come on first down. If we made the yardage, I could stay there. If we didn't make the yardage on the first run, I'd come off and somebody who could catch would come and replace me.
Well, Andrew, thank you very much for coming on the show, mate. It has been a pleasure to hear about your game. I'm very curious to see it on the tabletop, see how the mechanics actually run and work together, because it's all well and good to talk about this kind of game, but whenever you see everything intermeshing, that's whenever the magic happens.
Oh, aye.
Oh, yeah, that's why before we even kickstarted it, we were out at shows last year demoing it, because we wanted people to see that we had cracked that, how the plays actually work. Something I didn't mention was we've sped the game up, because all the players move on the first phase of movement, but then you have a highlight reel movement where you focus in on one player moving and then another player, the opponent's player. So the plays play really fast, which is what we wanted.
Excellent.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, Andrew, thank you once again. Sam, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Everybody, I tell you what, get your comments in below. Are you excited for getting some American football down on the tabletop? Get those comments in. We'll move on. We'll see you in the next one.